for the rock holes. This one right here, as you correctly identified, is the jackleg. Now we still use the jackleg today. It's very useful. It's a multi-purpose type drill that can drill at different angles, and it's deemed portable. It weighs about 120 pounds, but it's much more portable than our modern machinery. Just like our Sherbrooke Ram, it's powered by compressed air. But we have an added hose right here. This one contains water. The water will cool down that drill bit, preventing it from overheating, and it turns all that dust into mud. So the mud will leak down the rock face instead of going into our miners' lungs. A few volunteers. Come on up. Sure. Anyone else?
The loser.
No? Just the two? Okay. So we have the cushion stick right here, so put that right in the hole. The cushion stick has a wooden cap, and it helps make sure our rock breaks up nicely. We don't want really big pieces that'll clog up our ore pass. Next we have the fuse. So right in the hole, as far as you can. Thank you. Primer, right in there. And finally, we're going to push it all in with a wooden stick. You want to do that or no? Okay. Push as far as you can. Where do you have the stick though? Alright, thank you. I'm going to stop it all up with clay so it doesn't come sailing right back out. Okay. So we have 9 holes all set. We're hoping for 9 blasts. I'm going to ask you to count the blasts for me. I'm going to take care of the wiring. While I do that, I'll ask you to continue to the end, hook a left, and wait for me on the wooden platform. And it's best to go in the little cave area. All right, so how many blasts? 9. 9, awesome. Interesting thing to pass around. The noisy thing over there is our ventilation system. And has everyone guessed what this is? Well, in the mine, our toilets have a special name. It's called a honey wagon. And the person who is in charge of the honey wagon is called the honey man. Some people say the honey man had the best job in the mine. He got paid the same as everybody else, never had to work a night shift, and it's one of the safest areas in the mine. No dynamite, no rocks flying all over the place, no dangerous machinery, just cleaning out the toilets. Not really for everyone, but somebody's got to do it. I'll let you take a look at those pay stubs. One little interesting thing to note, he's renting his house from Incro, so there's along towards the valley, and then in the Coppercliff area there were homes which employees could rent from the company, which was very convenient for the immigrants. Production drill. And what we have on display is only a small piece of the big machine. We have this part. So as you can imagine, very big piece of machinery. The Simba is used when we're first setting up a new area of the mine. It drills deep into the rock, making holes for our ventilation cables, the electricity, water pipes, all those essentials in the mine. Over here is our jumbo rocket boomer development drill. Once again, just a small piece of the big machine. So we have this part here. Now, any ideas as to how we alert the miners that there's an emergency in the mine? We don't have lights in all areas of the mine. Any other ideas? Sirens. They don't hear things very well because of all the noise, the blasting, their ear protection. So any sound, any sight is pretty much out of the question. What they do is they release a stench gas. It's called ethyl mercaptan. It's what they use in natural gas. It smells like rotten eggs. So when they smell that, they go to come over here. Alright. Close the door. Seal up the sides of the door with clay so that any harmful gases can't seep through. We have a pipe right here that'll give us fresh air from the surface. And then we contact somebody, whether by computer, radio, telephone, and wait. Nobody is allowed to leave the refuge station unless. Modern blasting wall. It's no longer dynamite. It's a chemical explosive called ANFO. Now the X's are where an explosive has been loaded. The O's are called bootlegs, and that's where we previously had an explosive. Nothing will be set closer than 6 inches from a bootleg, just in case there's some residue left behind. Now the blasting pattern looks like this. It'll start in the middle, work its way out throughout the face, and then it'll end at the bottom. Those bottom blasts are called lifters, and they help to scoop out the rocks. It's easier to clean up afterwards. They'll slow down to show you the pattern. In real speed, it looks like this. So it's 21 blasts in just about a second. If you missed it, here it is again. Machinery. This machine right here is the scoop tram. This is what replaced our old Widowmaker. And this is the second smallest model on the market. The biggest one can fit this entire machine in a bucket. It is huge. Its tires are taller than me. Now does everyone remember our 1900s ore pass? How they would get clogged up before? We have now solved that problem with this metal grating right here. That's called the Grizzly, and it prevents any large rocks from getting into the ore pass and clogging it up. The machine moving around in the back there is the rock breaker. Any guess that's what the rock breaker does? Breaks the rocks. It breaks the rocks. Alright. So yes, our rock breaker breaks those large rocks, allowing them to fit into the ore pass without clogging it up. Isn't just moving on its own, it is remote operated. So somebody up on our command center on the second floor is controlling it as we speak. And if you'd like, you can try your hand at it after the tour. So a lot of our equipment is remote operated like that. It's much safer. We don't need as many people physically in the mine. Continuing with technology. Right here you might have noticed these peppered all over the mine. That gray and yellow box is the Hardline Solutions Mine Area Net system. And if you hear me beeping throughout the mine, that's. So I carry this thing around in my pocket. It works just like a cell phone, but it also emits a signal. Whenever I pass by one of those boxes, it receives my signal and displays my location on a map upstairs. It's how we keep track of where people are. If there's an emergency, we know where to go to help someone. And right at the back over there, the yellow cable. Yeah. Anything else?
Do they have an elevator to bring all the ore up? How does that?
Yes, that's the skip.
Where's that?
The skip is normally, it's often at opposite ends of the cage. It doesn't really matter, but they need a shaft. For the skip, they might have it together, they might have separate locations. It's just a separate elevator system.